For my third video, since in the previous video we just learned how to do a for loop, I'm going to show you a practical example of when we might want to use a for loop, such as reversing a string variable. Okay, so now that we're back in Visual Studio Code, I'm going to show you how I can reverse this string that we called example here. It's a pretty long string, but using a for loop is a great way to reverse a string in an efficient manner. So we're going to start again by doing for, and then inside our parentheses, our int I, we're still going to initialize, but let's set it equal to the length of example, and then -1. So the reason I'm putting the -1 there is because we're going to start at the actual index position we're going to start at the last index position of our string called example. So that would be the length of it -1. Otherwise, we would get an index out of range exception. So next, we're going to have our condition. So since we're starting from the end of the string and going to the beginning, we don't ever want to go below index position 0. So we'll say as long as I is greater than or equal to 0. And then finally, since we're going downwards instead of going up where we would increase I on each iteration, we're going to make I go down by 1 on each iteration. So for our for loop, it's probably best that we make a new string to show that our reversed example. So we'll just have this equal to nothing right now. And then we're going to append each character that we're going through in the for loop to our new reversed example. So we'll say reversed example plus equals, and then we'll say example dot char@, and then we'll start at I. So since at the beginning of our loop I is going to be the last index position, that'll be the last letter. So that's how it's reversing. So that's how that works. And then the loop is going to keep executing until we reach the first index position of our example. So that would be index position 0 or this capital T. So then after the loop executes, to make sure that we did it right, we're going to print out our reversed example. So let's go ahead and save that, and then we can test it in our PowerShell window again. So Java-C test video file.java. And then look at that. This is our string reversed. So right here, it did it perfect. It accounted for all the capitalizations, all the spaces, and we were able to do that super quickly with a for loop compared to just painstakingly going through every single character in this original example and then manually typing it into the reverse example. So this is one practical example of how a for loop could be very useful for a program.